Good afternoon, families, students, and Europe staff. I've been waiting for this opportunity to share both my story and my accomplishments since our first day on internship, February 1st, 2016. First, I would like to congratulate my colleagues of Class 14. We started from the bottom, and now we're here. And I hope my daily but annoying, powerful motivation quotes help us get to this moment. My story is a bit different because I have 2 children to celebrate this rather great accomplishment with. I am more excited because I get to share this opportunity with you all, knowing that we were a part of closing the opportunity divide and paving the way for future leaders means so much more to me than I can express. Consider me a time traveler who went from my mom's guest bedroom to a neighbor's home to a shelter and now to my own independence in a matter of months. I was on edge and had lost hope before I was given the opportunity that will make all of my third chances worthwhile. Not having family support, financial support, or self-discipline made me want to find my own peace. I tried so many different paths, sharp lefts and rocky rights, but I always ended up where I started, at the bottom. During my journey, I learned that I had to stop running from life and face the hardships that were sent to strengthen me to enjoy the most joyous reward that I've ever received. The very day I heard about Europe, I applied. I was just in time for the last information session. I walked in the very next day with blue hair and a suit I got from my neighbor who was 2 sizes smaller than I was, along with a pair of shoes that I couldn't throw away because I had no more. A few days later, I got an email about an interview with my very first believer, Mr. Downey. If you only knew how rough I was, then you can only imagine how bad I thought I did. I just knew I would be applying for welfare the following Monday, but I nailed it. I was placed on a waiting list and sat at my neighbor's house stalking my email, just waiting for the email to say that I was accepted. But that email never came. I got a call from Ms. Gates saying that they would like to assist me with my outside stressors so that I can fully be prepared for the next class in March. I didn't know what to do, but I was willing to accept the help. On September 8th, I sat in a car job hunting with my mom. I received 5 calls about starting the very next day. I was excited, I accepted, and then the worry set in. My mom was unable to help babysit, and I had no one else to help. Well, at least I thought. My neighbor, Miss Micah, paid for a babysitter while having so many responsibilities of her own, but I was determined to pay her back by finally starting something and finishing. After being up all night with a 3-month-old baby, I would wake up every day at 4 a.m., got my daughter dressed for school, begged my brother to bring the kids to the bus stop and to the babysitter, and make sure I was out of the house and on the bus at 5:44, just to make it to Europe at 8. After 7 weeks in the program, my life flipped twice. I had been staying with Miss Micah, but she could no longer support me and my children and her own. And unfortunately, returning to my mother's house was not an option for me and my 2 children. I remember Miss Pamela Hill telling me her testimony and how she graduated college with her son. That made me work harder, but then things got harder. Then our conversations were more like, Ishayon, come back next class. But I owe this to my kids for putting them through so much pain. I missed class many days, but my assignments were in on time and completed. Although everything was going wrong, my daughter called the shelter her apartment. And she was so grateful, but we literally had nothing and nobody but Europe. Then that's when I found my happiness and realized that my strength was my 2 children, who were being tucked in a bed that wasn't their own, and yet they didn't complain not once. Time passed, I got childcare, then my keys, then my sanity. Because of my absences, I had to work even harder to become a young professional. I changed the way I walked, talked, and began to build my confidence. I knew they would be counting students for internship, and I didn't want to be counted out. I had finally done something and earned something, that many close to me would say would be impossible. And my children would be able to watch me finish something. I went from having no one in my corner to having the strongest support system. I had over 30 shoulders to cry on, over 30 accountability partners, and a family you would think I grew up with. Learning Community One supported me. Kai briefed me on assignments. Zarek made me laugh to forget the pain. Patrick bought me clothes because I didn't have any. And Eric used his story to pick me up and gave accountability partner a whole new meaning. We did our assignments on the phone so that no one would lack the understanding. We defended and looked out for each other. And we had Jatia to represent us on student council. We couldn't have had a stronger representative. I'm not telling my story for sympathy, but to simply say, giving up is the easiest option, but pushing through is the most rewarding. I probably quit 8 times a week and dropped out every day, but mentally, I had to complete this journey. My experience at Europe is indeed one for the books. Who knew a little love and encouragement would change the lives of so many young adults with the finish line, but no strategy on how to get there? We took a leap of faith that many in our neighborhoods wouldn't do. We trusted, we didn't suffer in silence, and we put away our tights and sweats and hung up our suits and dresses. We began with the end in mind, and we believed in ourselves and we learned to believe in others. We sacrificed our sleep, our kids' tender milestones, and our foolish pride to become a powerhouse of project managers, CEOs, administrators, public speakers, coders, developers, and leaders. Nobody will understand how hard we worked, but everyone can see how much we've grown. We give random feedback. We give random feedback in our heads to strangers, of course. And we sometimes want to hand out infractions when they're not respecting and valuing others. We have the power to teach others to accept and embrace diversity, be accountable, and how to work hard and have fun. We had a bullpen full of mentors, and we all had a story, but we never stopped writing. We never gave up, and we all gained the ability to be a part of a movement that was far more powerful than any other. It's our new beginnings, it's our tomorrows that we created yesterday. In the words of Aliana Van Zandt, you've got to be willing to lose everything to gain yourself. Congratulations again, Class 14. We have completed phase 1 of our professional journey.